Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build the ultimate Japanese starter house. It gives you absolutely everything that you need for the early game. It's surprisingly easy to build and it's built with blocks that you should be able to obtain easily. There are two versions of this, one for slightly earlier game and one for a bit later, or depending on where you spawn in the world, so don't go anywhere and let's get on with the video. Here's the materials list for the build. Make sure that you pause it on the right one, and first of all we have the wooden version, and then we have the slightly later game version with acacia. The footprint for the build is 7 by 7, but the build, because of the roof overhang, will actually cover a space of 17 by 17, so an extra 5 on each of the sides. The first thing to do is to lay out a floor plan like so. You don't need the red line on the outside, that's just to show the edge of the roof, and then we will get to building the walls. So the pattern that we have in the floor here is using some stripped birch, and that looks like some of the Japanese tatami mats that we've got here. The outside we've got some stripped dark oak, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start building up some pillars, and I'll show you on one side. And this build, because it's symmetrical on all of the sides, just repeat this on each of the 4 edges. So we're going to come up 6 blocks with the stripped dark oak, then we're going to come in one, leave a gap that is, and come in another 6 and go all the way up. Then we're going to do the same here, and we're going to do the same here, and we're going to repeat this all the way around the build until we have a 6 high set of pillars. With all of the pillars in place, we're going to come to each of the corners and we're going to use some of the stripped dark oak wood rather than the actual stripped dark oak itself. That's the one with the fancy edge on all of the sides, and then we're just going to connect it up right the way across each of the edges like so. So we'll do this all the way around and then we'll fill in the walls. With the frame in place, on each of the sides we're going to do the same thing, and that is we're going to take 2 oak wood and place either side of this central piece. Then we're going to take 2 stripped oak and go down in each of these gaps here, right the way across the build. Just underneath this, we're just going to take some stripped dark oak, and of course if you're building this in survival, you'll just place the wood and then strip it. And then we are going to place here a trapdoor facing that way. We're going to then come inside the build for the next section and get an oak door and place it here so it lines up with the trapdoor. And then we're also going to place some trapdoors here. So you'll need to shift click to get the 2 on top of each other, but the trapdoors go in the opposite side of the window, and you can do those from the top or the bottom. But yeah, just try and get them the same direction like this, and do that all the way around. After the sides, we're going to come into the build and we're going to place some temporary blocks. So just so you can see them, I'll use the oak. We're going to place a temporary block in all of the corners, and then 1 block in between each of these as well. And that is so that we can start putting the pillars in. And each of the pillars is going to be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So each of these are going to come up. So put pillars in all of those locations, and then make sure you remember to get rid of the temporary blocks. Next, we're going to take our stripped dark oak again, and we're going to fill in a line at the bottom. Then we're going to leave a gap, and then we're going to fill in a line here. And then we're also going to fill in across the top. Now this isn't visible, so it doesn't matter that you haven't used the wood here. Then we're going to take our stripped oak again and place that in each of these sides, and we're going to do that all the way round. Inside the build now, we're going to place a floor on this second level, and level with this very bottom bit, we're going to actually place some birch slabs. Now, working out where the front of the build is, then make sure that you leave 1 gap so you can get up and down. I'm just going to do this at the back right. Then in here we're also going to place some trapdoors, and these are oak trapdoors in each of the windows. On top of this, we're going to place just an entire layer right the way going around and filled right the way in of the birch planks, just to give this a roof. Again, this will be covered by the actual pitch of the roof itself, but it gives a ceiling and a roof. And now we're going to start on the embellishments and the roofs themselves. For each side, we're going to start by taking some spruce stairs and placing them upside down on each of these pillars just above where this dark oak comes across. We're then going to take our spruce slabs, and in between each of these, just above that, so we've got our bottom slab here, we're going to place those. We're also going to carry this on so it goes past the edge on the two sides like this. So repeat this, as I said, for each of the four sides. And then we're also then going to come out for each of these right the way across the build like this, so that we've got an alternating pattern of these slabs going across like this. So this is what it looks like from the top, this is what it looks like from the bottom. Carry that all the way around the build. With that pattern all the way around the build, we're going to do exactly the same on this next level. So again, we come up one step, one block above this, and put the stairs in on each of the pillars. And then in the same way, we have the spruce slabs coming out and on the corners as well, and then just extending it right the way across like so. So do this all the way around, exactly as we've done the one beneath, but just on the next level up. Now that's done on the build, we're going to get some oak buttons, and we're going to place them on the top layer. At this point, we're going to take some dark oak signs, and we're going to fill in these two gaps. Then we're going to move down, we're going to fill in the two outside gaps, but we'll leave this one in the middle. But we're going to take the oak buttons again and just run two layers of those oak buttons across like so. The last thing you'll need to do is shift click and place a dark oak sign in front of those trapdoors like that. Starting to tackle the lower roof, what we're going to do is we're going to come out first of all and just do the flat sections, then I'll show you the corners. So we're going to start with a slab, and we're going to step down with another slab on top of that, and then we're going to place another slab, which we'll probably need to come down from this one like so. So we've got three slabs down like this, and we're going to do that right the way across the build. And then what we're going to do, again, you might need to place a temporary block or a temporary slab here. We're going to have a stair there. So it's going to be slab, 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 three slabs that is, then a stair, and then level with the bottom of the stair, a final slab. So you've got this, and the overhang is a total of 5 blocks, which is slab, 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 stair, slab. Do that all the way across here, just exactly the same till you get to the very edge. And the very edge, and then do that all the way around as well. So repeat this for each corner. First we're going to take our spruce slabs, and we're going to place a slab here with a slab on top. Then we're going to go to the dark oak and bring this out. Now we're going to use a full spruce plank here. Then we're going to go back to the dark oak and bring this out too, and this out too. And we're going to do the same here, so we're going to have a double slab. So it's stepping down one for each of these corner sections. Now we take each of these out using the dark oak by 2 more on each side with the stairs, and then we get some of the planks and put the planks right the way around the corner. On top of this, we're going to put a spruce pressure plate. Now for this corner here, we're just going to carry this on for 1, and then we're going to go up and across 3. So I'll show you on this side again, 1 here, and then we're going to go up and across 3, and then on this final block we've got a wrong one, spruce slab and a slab on top of it, just like this, and then we take out the underneath one. With all of those corners in place, we're going to come underneath the roof here, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start placing some oak trapdoors, and we're going to place a line right the way across here, right the way into the corner like so. And then coming forward, we're going to place another line right the way in front of that. And that's going to go right the way across. So when you get to this corner, again, you just turn that. You don't fill in that particular corner block. And then just run these along the sides. So do that all the way around, basically. So you've got a nice line of the trapdoors running on the underside, and that's the oak trapdoors. Now to the top roof, we're going to come onto the top here, and remember to do this for each of the corners. Then we're going to be using the spruce, but for the rest of the roof we're going to use the dark oak. And what we need to also do is you can choose whichever one you've got the most of, really. So I'll just use spruce here. You need to fill in this entire section in here as well. So when you connect this up, you've got something to build the next layer on. So again, we're just going to bring this up to a point. So you've got a spruce on each of the corners. and we'll just fill the side in with the dark oak, and then again just a spruce in the middle, and you'll just be able to bring it all the way round like this. So what you'll have is something that looks like this when you're finished, and just gives you a bit of a pyramid on top. Now the last thing to do is finish off here with a final spruce block to that point, and now we're going to build the sides. For this portion on each of the sides, what we're going to do is we're going to go a stair, and then we're going to go another stair all the way along, placing that right the way across. And now we need to use some temporary blocks. So we want to place a block, and then we can place a slab out in front of it. And then we'll need to get rid of that, and we'll place another block here so we can place a slab underneath that. So what we've got is stair, stair, slab, slab, and we'll bring that all the way across each of these flat sections, and then I will show you how to do the corners. Now for each of these corners, what we're going to do is we're going to start by placing a stair here. We're going to carry on these ones either side with the dark oak and have another of the spruce in the middle. Then we're also going to carry on with the dark oak on these two sides until we get to the middle. And then we're actually going to place a dark oak again, but it's going to be a full block. And we're going to put a pressure plate on top of that full block. Now for these, we are going to carry on, and we're going to bring them right the way across until they're level with this. Then we're going to step up one block, and then as we did on the floor beneath, we are going to have the spruce coming up and then knock out the spruce underneath. So we've got a spruce slab on the corner, and do this on all of those four corners. With the corners in place, then we're going to come inside the build, and we're going to come one block out from these, and we're going to go from one corner right the way across to the other edge where we've got this full block like so, and then we're just going to turn the corner and do the same on the other side all the way around the build. So where we've got two layers on the bottom, we've only got one layer of the oak trapdoors all the way around on the top. Now that the roofs are finished, we are going to work on the spire, and this is a little bit of a different one. What we're going to be using actually is hoppers. So what you need to do is, first of all, you just need to shift click into that block so you get the normal hopper, and then we're going to shift click into each of these hoppers, and we're going to have 5 of these hoppers. So I'll just come up here for a 5th hopper. So we've got a hopper chain of 5 hoppers. Then again, shift clicking, we've got a brewing stand on top of that. Then I am using nether brick fences here, but if you haven't been to the nether at this stage, then you can use dark oak fences, and for the walls you can use some brick. So we're going to have a nether brick fence, then we're going to have a nether brick wall, then a nether brick fence again, and then a couple of iron bars just to top this off. And that gives you the spire. Now with this roof as well, and the roof beneath, if again you are building this in survival, then you might want to come to each of these bits that's level with these pressure plates, and fill this in with either a whole bunch more pressure plates, or probably cheaper to do it using some dark oak buttons, because if you do that right the way around the build like this, then all of the spawnable spots are no longer spawnable. So make sure you do that on both the levels as well. So in this one you've got some here and anything that's on the same level as that. Make sure you put your dark oak buttons. To finish off this top section, what we're going to do is we're going to put a dark oak fence in each of the corners, and then we're going to connect those up using the dark oak fence gates so that they don't connect to the wall behind it. Now we're going to add some lighting up here, and we're going to add a chain and a lantern in each of the corners. Like this, and then slightly closer to the build, just on the other side of the oak trapdoors, we're going to place a lantern. We're going to place one in the middle and one here, so you've got them set up like this. Now we're going to go downstairs, and we're going to also place a chain and a lantern just here and here as well, like this. And then we're going to start placing again some lanterns. So these lanterns are going to go on each of these blocks here, just so you've got plenty of light around your build. Now you can use fewer lanterns, but it just looks quite good when you've got them all the way around. So do that all the way around the build, and then it is done. I will show you how it's done. I am going to show an interior, but not how it's all built. And it's worth noting now that the world download will be available from my Discord for this entire world, which if you wanted to have a look at the build and the interior in a bit more detail. So I will just finish that off off and show you what it all looks like. So I've put the default textures on now to give you a quick look at how the build looks when you're not using a texture pack. The texture pack I do use is Vanilla BD Craft, so it's just an HD version of the vanilla textures. So pretty much all of my builds do work really well with the default textures on. But as you can see, it looks great here, and I will just give you a very quick look inside, but then I'll show you more in the main texture pack and with some shaders on to run you through the build. So yeah, really happy with how this has turned out, and yeah, now to show you what it looks like in shaders. With the texture pack back on and Seuss Renewed shaders, which is my current favourite shaders at the moment, this is the other version, the other variation of the build. So this is a little bit less early game because it's not all wood, so you might not have access to some of these blocks like the black stone, for example. But yeah, this is still something you can build quite early in the game, and all of the interior is the same. So I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of this variation as well, again in another area of the world where I've built various other Japanese things. So let's have a look inside. Now, if you're interested in any of the banners here, there is a 10 Japanese banners that you need in your Minecraft world video that is on my channel. So go and check that out, and that will give you some of the details of how to make these, and they're all variations of that. So you just switch around the colours and miss out some steps occasionally. And coming inside here, what we've got is a nice little build area. So you've got just a little sunken stove type thing. We've got some seating on the floor around a table. This again is from my Japanese hints and tips, 15 Japanese build hacks video of how to make an incense burner like this. So yeah, just go and check that video out as well if you're interested. And what we've got is just obviously a crafting table. This does have everything that you would need for a survival base, and the interior to this is exactly the same, just with different trapdoors, different blocks. So we come up here, and what we've got is 14 of the furnaces. So you've got all the furnaces you need, with a whole bunch of lovely chests on top of that, nice and well lit in here. You have got a blast furnace in there which you can access from the ground floor. So again, all of these you can actually get to just by clicking on them from down here as well, so you don't need to come upstairs. But then when you do, you can come right the way up through to here, to the lovely little sleeping area. So this is all slabbed, so you won't get anything spawning in here. Some more fantastic banners, and just a cozy little sleeping place. So you can set your spawn here, you can sleep here. You've got another chest and another crafting table. So yeah, you don't need too much light in here. You have also got some further chests and some further storage up here if you needed. So everything you need in this ultimate Japanese survival base, and on top of that, it looks absolutely fantastic. So let's just come out quickly again, have a little fly around of the build itself. And as you can see, it does look great. So all that's left to be said is thank you very much for watching. I will head over to the other one, and yeah, if you haven't already, please do make sure that you hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel, and you get to see more of the builds. Like every one of the builds in this world has had a video around it, so yeah, you can check all of those out, including the Sakura cherry blossom trees. And here is, like I say, the one that we built with the wood. So if you have enjoyed this, do let me know in the comments. Do leave a like, and as I said, above all, make sure you do subscribe for future videos. And I will see you next time on ADcraft. Bye!